The Pagani Zonda. Today in this explainer, we're dissecting an absolute obsession with perfection, a machine that completely shattered the limits of automotive engineering. Let's get right into it. 2.7 seconds. That is exactly how fast the track-only Pagani Zonda R violently catapults you from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. Literally, by the time you blink, you're pinned to the seat fighting gravity. But how on earth did one man's obsession lead to this level of unhinged, mechanical insanity? Well, the escalation we're about to uncover is mind-blowing. And trust me, every second from here on out, the deeper we go, the crazier it gets.
Section 1. Birth of a Hypercar. To understand how Horacio Pagani broke literally every rule in the book, we've got to rewind to ground zero, the 1999 Geneva Motor Show. Imagine dropping a massive Mercedes-Benz AMG V12 into a lightweight, bespoke mid-engine chassis. It was a guaranteed recipe for absolute chaos. Now, originally, it was meant to be called the Fangio F1 to honor the legendary Formula One racer Juan Manuel Fangio, but following his tragic passing, they changed it. It took on a name perfectly fitting for the storm it was about to unleash, the Zonda, named after a blistering, relentless hot air current sweeping across Argentina. And man, a storm is exactly what this car brought.
Section 2. Pushing the engineering limits.
Now you'd think creating a perfect hypercar would be enough, right? Wrong. The Zonda absolutely refused to sit still. Instead, it kicked off this relentless, decades-long engineering arms race against the laws of physics. Just think about how the displacement and power aggressively escalate year after year. We kicked things off in '99 with the C12 and its 6-liter V12. By 2002, the S jumps to a massive 7.3 liters. Then, the 2005 Zonda F pushes past the 600 horsepower mark. But the real game changer? That hits in 2009 with the legendary Zonda Sync. It introduced this revolutionary, proprietary material called carbo-titanium. So why does that matter? Well, carbon fiber is incredibly light and stiff, but it can shatter on massive impact. By literally weaving high-strength titanium strands directly into the carbon, Pagani created a chassis that was bullet-strong, ultralight, and flexible enough to handle monstrous twisting torque. Just consider this sheer escalation. We're pushing from a formidable 450 horsepower in that original C12 all the way up to a terrifying 670 horsepower in the ultra-rare Tricolor edition. Top speed, that climbs to a blistering 350 kilometers per hour. And keep in mind, with every single iteration, they didn't just casually add power. They ruthlessly stripped away weight and added insane aerodynamic grip. It was getting more extreme and honestly, far more dangerous. The margins for error were shrinking to absolutely zero.
Section 3. The Ultimate Track Monster.
The Tricolore was insanely fast, for sure, but Pagani was about to completely throw the rulebook out the window. Seriously, ask yourself, what happens when you remove all the rules? What happens when you just don't care about noise limits, emission laws, or being street legal? When your only goal is maximum unfiltered lap time? Well, the answer to that is the Zonda R.
By completely shedding those pesky street-legal restrictions, the Zonda R plummeted to an insane dry weight of just 1,070 kilograms. To put that into perspective, that's about the weight of a tiny little compact hatchback, yet it packed an unrestricted 750 horsepower. But you want to know what's even crazier? It generated an astonishing 1,500 kilograms of downforce. That means at high speeds, the wind is pushing this car into the track so hard, it literally weighs more in aerodynamic pressure than it does in physical mass. It generates so much grip, you could practically drive it upside down on a ceiling.
And look, this extreme weight loss wasn't just magic. It was sheer aerospace obsession. We are talking suspension components made of Avianal, a high-strength aluminum alloy heavily used in aviation. The exhaust? Hydroformed Inconel, which is the exact same heat-resistant superalloy they use in Formula One cars and literally in nuclear reactors. Even the structural parts holding the engine are machined from Airgal, another aerospace-grade metal. All of this excessive engineering meant the Zonda R could violently snap through gears in just 20 milliseconds using its X-Track sequential gearbox. It wasn't just a car anymore, it was a weapons-grade hypercar. So what could possibly be next? You won't believe it.
Section 4. Horacio's Bespoke Masterpiece.
Just when the whole world thought the Zonda couldn't possibly get any more extreme, Horacio Pagani decided to build himself a little 60th birthday present. To commemorate the 18th anniversary of his iconic creation, he simply called it My Dream, My Zonda. This wasn't just another hypercar rolling off an assembly line for the highest bidder, no way. This was a deeply personal, ultimate flex by an absolute automotive genius. It grounds all this extreme hype in a pure artistic vision, a modern Renaissance masterpiece signed by Horacio himself, the jaw-dropping Zonda HP Barchetta.
This personal project hit the streets with a monstrous 800 horsepower naturally aspirated V12. I mean, think about that. No turbos, no hybrid electric motors, just a pure, screaming engine block roaring right behind your head. This officially made it the most powerful road-legal Zonda ever produced, dragging a chassis that weighed a mere 1,250 kilograms. That power-to-weight ratio is absolutely lethal. It requires total focus and massive respect from anyone daring enough to get behind the wheel.
This car perfectly merged raw analog driving with cutting-edge science. We're talking a manual 6-speed gearbox for the ultimate purist connection. Seriously, imagine trying to shift 800 horsepower by hand. It featured a striking roofless Barchetta design, which literally translates from Italian to little boat, exposing the cabin entirely to the elements and that howling V12. Combine that with Group C race car-inspired rear wheel covers, and you have something straight out of a sci-fi comic. And the exclusivity? Exactly 3 units were ever made. And yeah, naturally, Horacio kept one for his own private collection.
Section 5. The Unmatched Zonda Legacy.
The HP Barchetta effectively marked the end of the Zonda's official production run. It sealed its legacy as an unmatched canvas of carbon fiber and titanium, proving once and for all that a car could be the ultimate fusion of scientific perfection and breathtaking art. Which brings us to a massive, provocative question. In today's era of silent, digitized, battery-powered electric hypercars, will we ever see a machine with this level of raw, screaming, unrestricted analog obsession again? The Zonda wasn't just a car, it was a thunderstorm on wheels, built by a man who absolutely refused to compromise. Thanks for jumping into this explainer with me. Stay curious and never stop obsessing over the details.